What's up, people? I wanted to talk a little bit about, and I don't know what the word is for it. I don't know if there is a word for it, but negative influence by etheric energies or beings or whatever they are, that basically attacks a person. And I have these happen quite often. Had one just 2 seconds ago. It's receding, but and what I'm talking about is when all of a sudden you feel like absolute shit without somebody attacking you. There's not a dog running after you. You didn't just get news that your house burned down. You didn't hear that World War III has started and you're about to be annihilated by a nuke. You didn't hear that Jesus has arrived and you're now worried because you don't know if Christianity is correct and if you're born again correctly or if you've accepted Jesus correctly. You didn't get news that your dog died. You didn't just witness a horrible car accident. I'm saying just nothing. Just all of a sudden, it feels like an attack. It feels like an etheric. You're talking about things that you can't see, basically. If you're into the parasites, the parasitical energy that feeds off of us, that induces negative energy in order to eat it, it would be one of those, essentially. Because if there are beings or energy forms that eat negative energy, it's called loosh, and an individual that they want to basically feed off of is not producing, then there are methods to induce that negative energy. That's what I'm talking about. Whether you frame it as archontic influence, parasitical influence, etheric influence, whatever you want to call it. Like always, the terminology and the names are not particularly important. It's just the fact of feeling like absolute shit out of the blue. And if you have experienced this, how do you deal with it? I've gotten better at dealing with it, much better. In the past, if I would have one of these things, I would basically latch on to that negative feeling and just basically admit that, oh, I feel like shit, I feel depressed, I don't know why, but I do. And then I would rationalize it out. So I feel like shit, and then I would search for the reasons for why I should be feeling like shit, and I would be like, oh, well, this has happened, this is my current situation. So you rationalize the feelings. Same way as when you're being sold a vehicle or a car, the top salespeople know that we make our decisions based on emotion, and then we rationalize afterwards. So if we're hit by an emotional feeling or an emotional attack, and we don't know where it came from, and there's not an obvious reason, an immediate obvious reason, then we rationalize, well, my financial situation is such and so this is why this is happening. That's what I used to do, and I feel like that's incorrect. I feel like these are energies that the archon influence, the beings, the entities that eat negative energy, inducing a response makes perfectly clear, 100% sense to me. Because if I don't rationalize it, then I have to admit that there's really no external reason for it, and it's just popping up. So in dealing with these kinds of things, it helps me to the breathing, the holotropic breath work. The breathing helps a lot. Also, talking it out, saying, look around you. Is there anything physically attacking you? Is there anything physically bad happening to you? No. Is your life situation generally okay? Yes. And then just those two simple statements will at least put the rational part of your mind at ease. And then deeper, you can realize that this response does not need to be induced. And you can basically back up from it. So that's about it. That's all I wanted to talk about in this video. And I don't want to go any deeper or further into it. I just would like to have your perspective on it, and if you've had this type of thing, and if you have, how you deal with it. And yeah, that's about it. Hope everybody's doing well, and I will see you in the next one.